Hey friends, Ash here with Gents. Hope you're doing really well. Today we're going to be taking a look at 5 different fragrances that are perfect for a first date. In general, most of these fragrances follow the same idea, which is that they're alluring, they're inviting, they're sexy, they're enticing, and in general, not too loud. Now, some of these have more performance than others, and I'll tell you when we get to those which ones you need to be a little more aware of in terms of how much you spray on, but that's the general idea here. With date night fragrances, you usually don't want something that's going to be really, really loud and aggressive because you don't want it to overwhelm the person that you're with. More so, you want to bring them in closer. You want to be, like I said, inviting, enticing. That's what we're going for here. Not loud, not abrasive, not in your face. 5 different fragrances. Let's jump into it. You're going to be seeing a whole bunch of bottles here that are brown, amber, and black. Those are the colors you're most often going to see when you're dealing with warm, sexy, sweet, spicy fragrances. So pretty much all of these are colored like that. First up, we've got this one, Roberto Cavalli Womo Deep Desire. I mean, the name is really telling you that this is basically a date night fragrance, a sexy type fragrance. Deep Desire. Yeah. This one has cinnamon, cedar, cashmere, pepper, and mandarin orange. That's some of the notes in the fragrance. Cinnamon is a note that you're gonna see a lot in date night fragrances or fall fragrances, winter fragrances, evening fragrances, because it does provide this really nice, sexy spiciness. It's a note that just about everybody loves. And that's actually the main note in here. You do have some woodiness as it dries down with the cashmere and the cedar. Cashmere is a note that you see used a lot in modern men's fragrances, gives you this fuzzy sort of warmth once the fragrance dries down. And you do have a little bit of mandarin orange, so you're gonna get that touch of citrus to kind of lead you into those warmer, spicier notes. Deep Desire is not too loud, not too aggressive, just like I talked about. You don't want something that's super aggressive, so that one is perfect on a first date. The next fragrance is the most obvious one here, but just because it's obvious doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It's the one Eau de Parfum from Dolce & Gabbana. Yeah, the one Eau de Parfum. What a huge surprise. Who would have ever thought that the one Eau de Parfum would make a list about date night fragrances? Now, of course, originally there was the one Eau de Toilette. That one sold like crazy. It was super popular, and that's why you have so many the one flankers now. Eau de Parfum, Royal Night, Mysterious Night, the one Gray, the one Gentleman, although nobody really seems to talk about the one Gentleman anymore. Yeah, well, it's kind of like a redheaded stepchild that got discontinued, kicked to the curb, and everybody pretended it didn't exist. All that aside, the one Eau de Parfum is the quintessential date night fragrance. This one has been used by probably more people than all the other fragrances combined when we're talking about date nights. Amber, tobacco, ginger, cardamom, and grapefruit are some of the notes in this fragrance. So the only real drawback here is the not super faint possibility that the person you're going on a date with has smelled this on someone before. That being said, this is one of the biggest compliment pulling fragrances for me personally ever. People love it. Perfect date night fragrance. Not too loud, not too aggressive, very enticing, very sexy. As I've said a number of times, this one has got that warmth and spiciness that is just really, really enticing. The tobacco in here is done perfectly as far as being just a mass appealing fragrance. It doesn't have any smokiness. You know, it doesn't smell like an ashtray or anything like that. So the one Eau de Parfum, even though it's very obvious, perfect date night fragrance. This next one is from Yves Saint Laurent. It is from the La Nuit de l'Homme line, but it is not the original La Nuit de l'Homme Eau de Toilette. That one is just about as well known, if not more so, than Dolce & Gabbana, the one Eau de Parfum. This one is a flanker to the original La Nuit. It's La Nuit de l'Homme Le Parfum. This one has fruits, lavender, pepper, and vanilla. And this one differs a little bit from La Nuit de l'Homme Eau de Toilette, where it doesn't really have that cardamom front and center. This one also smells a little bit more mature as it dries down than the original La Nuit does. Now it's just as people-pleasing as the original La Nuit de l'Homme Eau de Toilette. It's a big compliment puller, and the fruity sweetness in here does wonders for making people notice you. It's not too loud, so this is another one that's not overly aggressive. It does have a little better performance than the one Eau de Parfum, but still you shouldn't have to worry too much about choking people out. This one is a really nice change of pace because for the most part, even though it's part of the La Nuit de l'Homme line, which is a huge line, it's overlooked. So not many people are gonna be wearing this one. So this one gives you that mass appeal, gives you that compliment factor, gives you that sexiness with a little touch of maturity, but the fruity sweetness does lend just a little dose of youthfulness, so it's not gonna be smelling like a grandpa fragrance. This next fragrance does have more performance, more projection, more longevity than the fragrances I've talked about so far. So this one is one where you don't wanna go too terribly heavy on the trigger. You don't want to choke your date out. It's not attractive. This one is from Salvatore Ferragamo. It is Womo Signature. And this one's gonna be one of the more affordable ones I talk about here today, assuming that you pick it up from discounters. It's not super expensive. This one has tonka, leather, roast coffee, as well as warm spices like cinnamon and cardamom. So this one has a little bit more of a masculine edge than some of the fragrances that we've talked about so far. The roast coffee in this is a really nice touch, and the tonka gives you this warm sweetness, which is to some people going to remind them a little bit of vanilla. That one's a really nice, mysterious kind of sexy fragrance. Goes great with a leather jacket, great when it's very cold outside. When you need something that's gonna cut through that cold, that one should be your choice. I'm gonna go over this last one and give you guys a couple more bonus ones just really quickly, but this one is from Azaro. This is Pour Homme Intense. I bought it as a tester, no cap. This one has cinnamon, amber, brandy, and vetiver. That's some of the notes in the fragrance. And this is gonna be for more mature guys. Guys middle-aged and up, they're going to really appreciate this a lot more than guys in their teens or guys in their 20s. The quality that you get here is fantastic versus the price that you pay. Again, you're gonna have that warmth, that spiciness. The brandy in here gives you a nice touch of booziness as well, with a little bit of sweetness. That is, though, like I said, going to appeal more to older gentlemen, people that are looking for a fragrance that's a little more dressed up, a little more sophisticated, a little more refined, not as much on the youthful side, not as much with that, you know, really super sweet take on men's fragrances. It is, though, a great, great scent and an amazing value. And perfect for dates, again, especially for guys middle-aged and up. That one does have good performance. So you don't want to go too crazy heavy on it. Again, you don't want to come across, you know, with too much of an aggressive scent cloud going on. You don't want to be the cologne guy. Now, a couple fragrances that I want to go over just really quickly. First up, C.H. Brevet from Carolina Herrera. This one has a lot of the notes from the other fragrances here. So it's got leather, it's got tonka, it has whiskey, it has cardamom. So a lot of the same players from these other scents you're gonna find right in here. This one was hyped for quite a while as kind of a bad boy date night fragrance, and it really does work well in date situations. Performance isn't super loud, but that's what you're looking for. Ultimately, this one's kind of a sweetened leather with boozy touches. Big compliment puller, this should be on your radar. Last up, Mercedes-Benz Club Black. This one is if you love vanilla. This is focused on vanilla. It's a really nice, high quality scent. You may not think that since this is a Mercedes-Benz fragrance, but it's actually really, really good. There's also benzoin in there, there's bergamot, there's incense, so you're gonna get a little touch of smoke, a little bit of citrus in the opening, but it's all about the vanilla. The only issue with that one is sometimes it's hard to find. It does sell out pretty quickly at discounters, then they'll get it back in stock, it'll sell out again. So it's that kind of thing where you have to catch it at the right time. There we go though. 5 different fragrances, perfect for a first date. Technically 7, but 5 sounds better. Each one of these is a big compliment pulling fragrance. Each one of these is a fantastic choice for your first date. As always, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Thanks for your support. Stay safe out there. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.